Hey there, everybody. How are you this evening? This is Barb Ryder, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Michigan. Let me know that you've joined. I'm just making sure that I am live. There I am. Awesome. Okay. Good deal. All right. So, how's everybody? Hope you had a great weekend. I am actually live. Last week I had a recorded video for you. So I hope that you found that and that you checked it out, and it was something fabulous. It was a fun fold. So hello, as you're joining, let me know. Just making sure. It sounds like everything's good. It doesn't look like my voice is lagging this week, which is great. But I have two projects, actually techniques. They're two projects, but there's two techniques that I want to share. And hopefully everybody is joining me. I don't see anybody yet. And let me see. Okay, there we are. Anyway, hi Nancy. All right, good deal. Let me get myself set up here so I can see the comments. And we are going to get started. Just getting myself situated here. Awesome. Hi Diana, welcome. Thanks for being here. If you're joining me via the replay on Facebook or on YouTube, let me know that you're watching replay. Hi Shar, welcome. Hopefully you guys had a great week, and well, actually it's been 2 weeks since I saw you. Last week I gave you the recorded video because we had a great time with some grandchildren and my aunts that live down in Alabama, and we were able to go visit my family for a few days, and then we went to Pigeon Forge with the two youngest grandsons. One is 10, and one is 13. So, one thing I learned being on a trip with those boys, I'm not sure I could have been a boy mom. That's probably the biggest thing I learned while I was gone. I have a daughter and a son. So, anyway, thank you for sharing. All right, let's go ahead and get started with our projects. And hopefully you are hearing me just fine, and the volume is a good volume for you. Hello, Sue. Thank you for sharing. All right. Let me see. We're just going to go right down to the projects. And before we get started with the projects, I wanted to talk about the mini catalog that will be starting on September 3rd. Okay. I can show you the back and the front. I can't show you the inside. That's just their Stampin' Up's rules. You can hear me just fine. Awesome. But if you do not have a demonstrator and you have ordered from me, okay, so let's back up. If you don't have a demonstrator and you would like to have a catalog, please let me know. If you have ordered from me in the past year, you should get one in the mail anytime, because those have been ordered and sent directly from Stampin' Up. If you are here with me at the classes, you get it put right in hand for the next class. So anyway, some fabulous stuff in here. Now, one other thing I want to tell you. There are lots of things that are in the online exclusive, which means they're not in this catalog. They're only on my storefront, barbryder.stampinup.net, or there is a link in the description that you can go to, and you will be able to click that link and it'll take you right to my store. So I want to let you know that if you want to order any of this stuff early, sign up to be a demonstrator with me. It's only $99. You get $129 in product, and you can choose anything you want for that $129. All right, let's go ahead and move this, and I will be sharing lots of things probably starting next week with some of the things that you're going to be able to order September 3rd. Of course, I always put things that are new with what's current so that you will be able to use what you have. Okay. Before we get started, I have some fabulous swaps that I want to share with you. Let me see right here. Our team swap this month was for anything from a suite. So here are a few of the swaps. I think I have all of them, but isn't this pretty? It's kind of a gatefold, and it's with that broken glass suite. So there's that. And let me see, where should I put these? Over here. And then, of course, the pear suite is been a favorite of the team. Several samples with these, that suite. Here is our little spooky suite that is an online exclusive that you can get right now. Just like that. So cute. Here's a fun fold. I think this is Nancy's card. And see there, it's a fun fold, but then you open it up and you have the inside. Cute, cute. Here is another one with our pear suite. And then here is one. This is done with all kinds of embossing. Gold embossing. She's got Wink of Stella on here. Isn't that pretty? Look at that. And then this was my swap. I used, I think I shared this on one of my lives, that this was my swap. Now, I've got, this is, look at this card. So pretty. This is from Donna, but look at how gorgeous is this. Come over here where you can see better. Just all kinds of this color combination is gorgeous. Then you've got this fun fold here that opens up, and then you've got this. Isn't this so pretty? And then the next card I want to share, this was for our challenge, and this is from Sue Somerville is on here, and using the pear. Isn't that cute? I love it. Great, see that? Great fun fold. But those were our swaps. Hopefully those are great ideas to get your thoughts flowing on how you can use those suites. All right, I'm going to get myself situated. Now, the first card that we are going to do is the technique. It's a type of spotlighting. So if you are familiar with spotlighting, this you'll know how this works. But I'm going to use the Blooming Phrases. Now this stamp set is a standalone. There's no dies, no punches, but it's fabulous. If you want to order this stamp set, it's 165523. You can find that. That's where I'm looking right here, and I believe that it is available in looking at the supply list. Okay. Hello, hello. Is it too dark? Or are you guys seeing that I'm bright enough here? I'm going to be using Happy Birthday, but you have all these different sentiments. Thinking of you just because, anniversary, hello there, celebrate, birthday, thanks, and happy. Then you can add these flowers. They're designed so that you can add things on the stem here. Cool idea. So let's go ahead, pull in my supplies, and get what I need over here on the side. We're going to use some Stampin' Blends. We are going to use some ribbon that just sold out on the last chance list. And if you have some Blackberry Bliss and Gold, it's fabulous ribbon. And this, you could do this technique and layout can be done with any stamps and colors and things like that that you need. So this just gives you the idea. All right, let me pull in the stamps I need. Now I want to tell you something as we go here, and let me get these. Our main color we're using is, like I said, the Blackberry Bliss. And what we have an envelope that we're going to be doing some stamping on. And then here are my pieces. I have a basic white 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. And then I have a piece of the black. Let me get my measurement here. Hello, Diana. Hi, Taryn. Thank you for giving me the feedback, ladies. I really appreciate it. This is 4 1/8 by 5 1/8, our basic black. Now this designer paper is from the mixed media florals, 12 by 12. So you got one side like this, and the other side of this particular one has just a whole different look to it. But we're going to use this piece right here. I have a circle, and you can do whatever size you want. But what works for me is this is 1 3/4 circle, and we are going to use a 1.5 punch. Now these might be retired, but if you've been stamping a while, you probably have these punches, and so use what you have. This particular piece is going to be 1 inch by 4 inches. This designer piece, I believe, is 4 by 4, so 4 inches by 4 inches. All right, there's all your measurements for what you need for this card, okay? So I have pre-punched this, so we're going to be using that shortly. But this is the technique. You could use dies, punches, fussy cut. You can do whatever you want. But what I'm doing is I'm going to leave all of this the same color, and I want to choose an area in here. Now I want to go this way because this is directional. So let's go ahead. I'm going to take my punch and figure out, I want this. You could do this, but I don't want it that close, I guess. I could come to the top and punch right there. Do I want to do that? I think I'm going to do down here. This is where I really had in mind. So I'm going to come right here, and that's what I want to punch, is that flower with some other flowers. And I'm going to go ahead and punch that right out, okay? So the idea is that the die or the punch that you take from your designer paper in this case is going to be a little bit smaller than what you punch as the background, because see, that's going to cover right there. Okay? All right. How many of you have done spotlighting? There are several ways that you can do the spotlighting technique. All right, so I've got that punch. Now we are going to do some coloring on this. And actually, let me grab something else so this shows up a little better. Let me get my silicone mat here. I'm going to be using the Blackberry Bliss blends, and I'll be using the brush tip end. Usually when I have a class, they will use the bullet tip, but because you don't want to press too hard on the brush tip, or you'll end up getting really you'll wear down your tips, I guess. Okay, so this is the dark. Now I'm going to take the dark and I'm going to color where it's dark on here. Okay, so right here is some dark, and I'm just gonna come up here with that dark. There's a little bit of dark right in here, and all I'm doing is following the designer paper. Okay, if it's dark on the designer paper, that's where I'm using the dark Blackberry Bliss. And let's get the light, and now I'm going to color everything else. Okay, it's not a huge color difference, but I think you can see it. So let's just color these petals in. Now you could, like I said, you could do this technique with so many different ways, but this is one that is very quick and easy, and it gives you a really pretty result. Okay, I've got some flowers over here that I want to color in with the light, and there's another one right there. Oh, there's one right here too. Now that's probably a leaf, and so I'm not going to go with that. I'm not going to do that. So, well, hi Janet. Thank you for stopping by. Okay, done with the blends. Now, I mentioned I wanted to share with you guys. One of the things is you do not ever use the alcohol blends on your stamps, and I'm going to show you why. Here is my stamp. Someone thought they could color the flowers with the blends. Okay, I have not tried to take alcohol and clean this, but this is stained on my polymer, and it doesn't, when you stamp, it doesn't come off. It doesn't work. So just FYI, you cannot use your Stampin' alcohol markers on your rubber, red rubber, or your polymer. You don't want to do that. So I'm going to try, but this won't affect my stamping, but I just wanted to share that. We're going to be using that in just a second. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is basically this just actually gets attached to the piece of black right here. And let me see, I'm going to turn it over. There we go. Now you can use the Stampin' Up markers. Okay, I'm going to grab one. This is Berry Burst. You can use the Stampin' Up markers because they're water-based. They're not alcohol-based. Those can be used on your stamps. And they will not severely stain your stamps, put it that way. Okay, we're going to set this aside. The next thing we're going to do is take this piece right here. We're going to do some stamping. Remember I said I want happy birthday. So let's take our Blackberry Bliss. And I'm going to stamp birthday first at the bottom so I kind of have an idea of where I'm going here. So just ink this up. And this is going to kind of go right down here. Like that. That's my birthday. Let's clean that off. When you're using your polymer stamps too, a tip for you is you do want to clean them off because the longer they sit with the ink, the more they will get stained. It doesn't affect your stamping in the future with those, but just if you like to have them, if you don't like them stained, put it that way, you'll want to clean them off pretty quick. All right, and now we want happy. Okay, so move that. Let's come right up here with the happy. Do I want to come this way or this way? Oh, let's see. Let's come this way with the happy, right there. So happy birthday. And then I am going to take my, let me clean this first. Okay, get that out of the way. So I am going to ink this up in the Blackberry Bliss. Then I'm going to stamp it off. And I'm going to take this and stamp it right there, just as a little added design with my sentiment. I'm also going to take my envelope before I put this away, and let's go ahead and do some stamping on our envelope. And I'm just going to see how you can get two tones out of your stamps. First strength and then second strength. You could probably even get a third strength, yeah, out of this. Now I don't want another dark one there, so I'm going to stamp it off, and I'm going to come up here and stamp. So we have this pretty little envelope part to coordinate. There is another stamp that's in the set, and it kind of looks like these. So I thought I might do a few of those. Maybe I'll do one like that, and then stamp this off And do one there. Stamp off again. There. And there. Just to give a little on the inside, the front also. Okay. All right. So there's that. I think we're done with the stamping. So let me clean these off, and then let's put this together so you can see what it looks like as you're to make a spotlight. That's the reason it has. That's the reason for the name of the technique and how it gives you the spotlight look. Okay, so this will go over here and over here. All right, here's our black that we need. And so what's going to happen is this is going to get mounted with a little 1/8 of an inch all the way around like that. This piece is going to go right down here like that. So let's go ahead. Let me get my silicone mat here. I'm looking at my, making sure that I'm trying to stay in the camera here. All right. Okay. So this is going to go right down at the bottom, leaving a little bit, about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. And then same thing here. So yes, this is not a brand new technique. Now it might be to you if you've never seen it before, but this technique can be used in so many ways. All right, I'm going to bring this down just a sliver. There we go. All right, so there is our layer. We are going to put this on, but before we do that, I'm going to take this coordinating ribbon. It has a little strip of gold in there, and we're going to, woo, it went flying across the room. Oh my gosh, okay. Let's try this again. All right. Hello, hello. If you are just joining me, thank you for being here. I hope that you will enjoy these techniques. I'm going to bring this around, and all I'm going to do is just make a just a little knot so I don't overpower the spotlight, I guess. So let's get that going here. There we go. Kind of twisted, but it'll be all right because my black dot is going to go over top of this. So, scissors, let's see. Now the next technique that I'm going to share with you, you might not have seen this one before, so I'm hoping that it's a cool technique that you will try. We used this technique in our team meeting on Tuesday. So, okay, so there's that. All right, now I want to make sure this is over a little bit. Maybe, I don't know, I might need to put this over on this side. See how I'm just rolling this around? That works because I still have the space here. I think that's what I'm going to do. We'll put that here. And then we want to line this image up to where I punched it out. So what does that mean? That means that I'm looking for how I punch this out. Let's see, what's over here? Okay, the tip of the flower there and there. Okay, this one doesn't have a whole lot of, let me see. I think, nope. It's probably not going to make much difference because, but see how there's a little tip of a flower here? That's what I'm looking for. Maybe right there. See how there's that flower? Nope, I don't think that's it. Goodness. What about that? No, because this flower, that's what you want to do. Here, this flower might have been right down here. Right there. Okay, that looks like, anyway, put it the way that it looks the best. I can't figure this one back out. Well, we're going to use dimensionals. We're going to pop it up right there. No matter what. That's where it's going. But the whole idea is that you're spotlighting one particular area in your main card. Whether you stamp and make lots of images with stamps, or you use designer paper, that's what I'm doing. Let's see. I think this kind of goes right here. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to pretend that that is the tip of that flower, I guess. All right. That looks good enough, right? Okay. So here's what we have. The next thing I'm going to do is we're going to pull in some of these. Now, I created this card before these were gone. These are now gone. These are the Neutrals Adhesive Back Sequence. They were on the last chance list, and they've been around for a while. They're fabulous. And we also have some gold sequence that you can, let me see, I might have them right behind me, actually. They're, they come like this, but you have to glue them down. They don't have glue on them, so you would just have to put your adhesive glue down and then place those gold dots. But because I have these, I'm using them. So let's grab my pick tool, and we are going to go ahead and we're going to pull some of these, let's see, I think I'm going to put, let's see, what do I want to do here? I think I'm going to put one down there with the little flower. Let's grab a big one. Let's put that right in the center there, and this gold will really coordinate nicely. There's another flower. We can put a gold one in. And let's see, I'm going to grab another small one, and let's put one here. I'm just going to fill the places that I see the flowers. We can put dots in. That looks pretty good. Gives you a little bit more bling in there with the gold, and just pulls the gold out in the ribbon, which is really nice. So that's what we have there. And then the last thing to do is actually put this that I just created onto our card base. So let's go ahead, get plenty of adhesive on here so that it sticks with that ribbon behind it. Thank you, Sue. Blackberry Bliss is such a rich color that just makes things look so cool. All right, so this is not centered in, I mean, I've got a little bit at the top and a little bit at the bottom, but then 1/8 of an inch around the outside. Okay? Just like that. And there is card number 1. And it looks really pretty with the gold added against that, the gold streaks in the blackberry. And here is my coordinating envelope. Thank you, guys. All right, card number 1 is complete. Now, let me grab what we need for the next card, and we are going to be using Label Me Grateful. Now, this is an online exclusive, and this bundle, let me grab, you get all 5 stamps. These are the true size of the stamps. And then the dies, thank you everybody. Oh, I'm missing because we used it for our class yesterday. There is another die that goes in here, and I'll show you that in one of the cards here in a moment. But there's one more die for the sentiments. But these are all, the others here are just, they, you can do all kinds of stuff with them, and I'll show you some samples. This was the, this was the Blessing Box bundle. This bundle is $39.50, and the number is 166112. And it's $39.50 US. So this is a really nice bundle, you guys. And if you are interested in my this Blessing Box, I do have 2 left. So when I show you the samples, you'll You can let me know if you did not already order it. I would love to have you share in that fun box that I send out monthly. And here are the things that we need to create our card. And let me grab all the other stuff. We're going to use early espresso, some linen thread, and that's what I need. Okay, so I have taken and used the sunflower folder. It is currently out of stock, but it's going to be back. I believe it said September 8th, so it will be here. But I've already embossed this through the embossing folder, and the size that I have here is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, and this is basic beige. You can do this whatever size you want, 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. I happen to have a piece of 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2, so that is going to be my card base. I have a couple other pieces here. I have white that's 4 by 5 1/4, one for the inside, one for the outside layer. And then I have used the stylish shaped dies and done the small banner. We have a piece of early espresso, and this particular piece is 1 1/4 by 3. Okay, this is going to be our technique. And then these are two of the pieces that are in the die set. This is Pretty Peacock and Mossy Meadow. So I've cut those dies out. So first of all, let's go ahead and do the technique. Now, this technique I was taught is called faux suede. Now, if you've never done this before, it's super easy. You're just going to take a bone folder, okay, and you're just going to break down the fibers, okay. So I'm just going to go this way several times, turn it over, kind of just break down those fibers. See, it's going to curl, but then I'm going to go the opposite way, okay, and that's how it breaks the fibers down. And when you do this, you'll know that it's ready to see the magic faux suede when you start seeing the edges kind of come apart. Okay, so you'll see it doesn't take too long. And now I've seen some people take this and go against the edge of a you know, table or something, but bone folder is the way to go. So let's just keep going. It does take a minute. That's why you don't want to do a huge piece unless you have time to sit and do this for a while. But I don't know if you can see how it's starting to break down the fibers. It's just getting really pliable and showing a little bit of like wear or aging. Okay, I'm going to keep going. It's starting to get that way on the edge. But it is very cool. When it really does give you a suede look. So, all right, let me see if one of these ends are getting there. Okay, right here. I don't know if you can tell, but see how it's coming apart right there? All right, I'm going to see if it's ready to pull apart, because that's how you get the suede. Can you see that in the inside? I'm going to come really close to the camera. Sorry if it gets blurry. I don't know. There might be better. Okay, but see that? See how that's peeling apart? I'm just going to lightly, and if it's not, if the fibers are not broken down enough, it will not peel very well for you. Okay, but this is working. It's coming apart it looks so cool. Just like that. Now, can you see how that looks like suede? And so you have two pieces here. I'm only going to use one, but that's the technique called faux suede, and it's very soft. You can't use this with the two-tone cardstock because that is white core. Our basic 8 1/2 by 11 cardstock is solid through. So remember that, okay? You can't do this with two-tone. All right. So there we have that piece for our technique, and that's what we need. Super cool. All right, we are going to use thank you. I'm glad that you like it. It is different. It's a different technique, that's for sure. I'm going to do thank you, and I'm using the red rubber. Now, on the red rubber, there's a lot of space down here at the bottom, so I have to keep that in mind when I'm getting ready to stamp, that my letter is not right at the edge of the stamp. So because I've got this space I need to fit into, I hope that makes sense. But pay attention to that when you're using your red rubber so that your projects come out well. Okay, so early espresso, and I'm going to bring this a little closer to me so I can get this in here. Let's see, and then let's hope I got it in here. Da-da! Because I didn't cut another one. Hi, Bobby. Beautiful. Look at that. I did it. All right, let's clean this stamp. And then I'm going to stamp on the inside of my card also. All right, this. And I have one piece for the inside. Make sure I stamp it correctly. I think I stamped the wrong way. And it says, "You're the best." And that's just going to go on the inside of my card. And I'm just going to go right over to the side a little bit. Just like that. You know, I could use some of the flowers that are in my, maybe what I'll do is I'll cut another one of these little guys and put on the inside of my card here. Just to kind of bring that to the inside of the card. All right, so let's put it all together. Blah, 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 blah. Adhesive, I'm trying to find. Okay, here we go. This is the inside. And just like, I'm kind of getting out of the screen there. Sorry about that. There we go. And Bobby, you'll have to go back if you didn't catch the technique for the faux suede and the first card. You'll have to go back and watch the replay. Fun stuff. Okay, next we are going to go ahead and put our piece together on here. So the first thing I'm going to do is put down my faux suede, and I'm going to put my adhesive on the side that does not look like suede. Okay, so let's get that on here. Alrighty. Okay. Let's get this on here. Now, I didn't want to ruin that. Okay, we're going to come over here like this, about right there. And this really looks good. This early espresso looks great with basic beige. There's that part. Next thing, I said we're going to use some oh my gosh, linen thread. Couldn't think for a second. So hard when you undo these, and if you don't pull them, if you start looking to where they need to go, they start coming unraveled. So I'm just going to try to put this back on so it's not raveling everywhere on me. There. Okay, I need enough. We are going to come around this card and tie a bow. So let's come get some linen thread here. I've been using linen thread quite a bit. It looks really fabulous with this stamp set that we're using. Label me grateful. Alright, let's make a little bow here. I actually think I'm going to make a knot first. That way I can cut this and then tie it. Okay. Oop. Look at that. I tightened it and then I loosened it. Okay, there we go. There we are. All right, let's cut this and make our bow. Now you could make this really look like a masculine card if you wanted to. It's okay to do bows on masculine cards, right? But I'm going to take this little bow, I'm actually going to move it over a little bit more. So I'm going to slide it around. There we go. Kind of over here. Anyway, come on. I know where I want it. I need it a little bit more on the brown. Okay, well, there's what we have. So let's go ahead. We're just going to lay these down. They're just going to kind of go on here like that. So let me grab my silicone mat because it is fabulous for small things. If you're not a glue person, you can use your silicone mat and just put a little bit of your adhesive on the leaves, and you don't get adhesive everywhere else. Put it that way. Okay, got that. Let's come up and under that bow. I'm going to stay on my, come across a little bit, kind of like that. And then let's take this little guy. Well, I'll put that on last. I'm going to put this on next. I want this to kind of come over like that. Let's come up a little bit. See how my bow is like covering my word? So I want to move this over a little more. There we go. All right, let's find some dimensionals over here somewhere. I am finishing up a sheet. So let's, oh, that's already cut, and that's cut, and that's cut. Okay, it's already cut. All right, let's put this here and here. This is going to go over top of the linen thread and kind of up a little bit. Let's bring this up. Okay, that works. That's good. And then now we're ready to do our last little pretty peacock die. Oops, die cut. And that's just going to get tucked right in here as best I can get it. And you know what I did? I put that big piece there and I can't go under it. So let's see what I can do here. There we go. Just so it sticks out a little bit. All right. Okay, so there's that. Now we're ready to layer this onto our white. I will tell you that if you have procrastinated and you love this sunflower folder, make sure you get it when it comes back in stock, because then it's probably just going to go right back out of stock. So, and it is an online exclusive, so they can decide to not have it come back at any time. It is. I love it. I love it, Sue. All right, so all we want is that little bit of white around the edge to kind of pull in the white that we have for our sentiment. Okay. And then this is going to go on the front of our card base. And just like that. Okay, and there we are. There is that. Now, I do have, I wasn't sure if I wanted to add gems or not, but these are really, they're called antique pearls. They're flat, and I thought that they would look pretty good on this card. So I'm going to go ahead and add some. And there are 3 different sizes here. So I think let's take a big one. Let's grab one of these big dots. Thank you, Sue. I'm glad you like it. This is one of the projects for the team, one of the team projects that we did. Okay, I think I'm going to put this big one kind of down here. It's a kind of a big space down here with no embossing. And then here is the second size. So let's just do that because there's another space there. Let's do that. Now, where else do I want to? Let's take a tiny one. Let's come up here and just, let's put one up here kind of on that side. And I don't know, I think that's really, I don't think I need a whole lot more because the embossing is so pretty. I just don't think you need to add a ton more. You could go ahead and put 5 on here, maybe 2 more. There's a little bit of space here, maybe down here, but I think this is good. Kind of the flow of the card, right? Hopefully you can see that pretty well. But this is the faux suede technique, okay? Char says that sunflower folder is the best. Yes, it is one of the best ones that I have. I love these 3D because you can do so much. And I shared, if you go back and watch some of my videos on the YouTube channel, they're harder to find on the Facebook, plus they take them away after 30 days. So go to my YouTube channel, find out all of my past videos. There's cool stuff there, you guys. And you will see a technique where I used and did 3 ink pads and just swiped it across this folder, and it's pretty cool. So there we are. All right, those are the techniques for tonight. One is the faux suede. That's that one. And the other one that we created was using the spotlight technique and just stamping a nice little envelope with that. Birthday card. Coordinating the flowers I put here and these little flowers here, they kind of made me think about the same thing, and that's why I chose to go on the envelope that route. All right, let's see. There we go. That looks more in sync. So there are the projects for tonight, you guys. Thank you for watching. And if you are jumping in at the end, go back and watch the replay. I hope you enjoyed them. You'll try the technique. I would love to see your projects if you do decide to go with either of these techniques. So thanks for joining me tonight. Let me see here. I think I can come back up, and there we go. All right. Have a fabulous evening, daytime, whenever you're watching this for the live tonight. Have a great evening, and I will see you guys coming up. Oh, wait. I forgot. I was going to show you the cards for the blessing box, and here they are. Okay. So, let's see. I am thinking, I'm going to go ahead and turn this back down and show you these up close, okay? Here is one of the blessing box cards. Here is another. Now you will do all of your die cutting that comes in the kit, the bundle. This die cut I will do because that is not part of the bundle. Okay. This next one I will do the rectangle because in the embossing that is not part of the bundle, but all the other die cut is. The fun fold card that I shared on the live, that will be one of the in the tutorial. And then I have a couple more that are part of the kit. Hang on, let me grab them. Fun folds. Here is another. Okay. And last but not least, let me grab it. Oh my gosh. This is another fun fold. And this opens here and here. Okay? So, I hope that gives you an idea. Like I said, I have 2 kits left. If you're interested in that, just give me a message and let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next week. All right. Have a good night. Blessings. Bye-bye.